Hi, I'm Athena and I am a contemporary shaman. And for those who are new to working with shamans or listening to a video with a shaman, I'll just briefly tell you what that is. A shaman today and across time is someone who is working with the spirit world on your behalf. So I share that with you today because for whatever reason that you found your way to this video, you were divinely guided here because there is something that the spirit world wants to be channeled to you to help you along your journey with where you are. So, the way that I work is I actually do channel and I hear messages from the divine, I hear messages from beyond, from our angels, from our helpers, from our loved ones. I do believe in God, so I also do receive messages. Sometimes I feel like they're coming directly from the source, and it is a force of unconditional love and you are included in that love. So, my intention is that with any video, any message that I share with you, I want to make sure that you are receiving messages from the divine that are intended for exactly this moment in your life. Today's video, we're talking about how do we know when to leave a relationship? However, you found your way to this video, you might be contemplating leaving a relationship. And I know personally, because I've been there, that that's extremely difficult place to be in. If you have children, as I do and as I did when I went through my own separation, I know that that can be really difficult to make the choice of whether or not to leave. And I want to tell you that no matter what decision you make, you will be loved by your children, you will be loved by your divine helpers, you will be loved by God, you will be loved, okay, no matter what decision you make. So it's a first message that I was asked to share with you today is no matter what decision you make, you will be loved. You might be questioning if you'll ever find the love that you're searching for. Perhaps you feel like you should settle for what you have because it's good enough, or maybe it's not even good enough, but you feel like you couldn't do any better. Okay? So I share with you today that you have the power to manifest, attract, create, design the life that you desire. And I also will be here to help to guide you through doing so, whatever decision that you make. But today we're looking at what do I do? How do I know when it's the time to leave this relationship? If you're having any of those questions that I just mentioned about feeling like you might not find love again or you might not deserve it, whatever that is, the first thing you're going to want to do at this point in your relationship is do some worthiness work. Right. So today, again, I'm being asked to channel this message to you no matter what decision you're going to make. You're going to need to feel worthy of love. Chances are the reason why you're in the place that you're in right now is because you are in need of a check in with your self worth. What I'm going to encourage you to do is let your journal be your best friend through this moment in time when you're making this important decision. And also, you don't have to make the decision on any timeline unless the decision is made for you. And even when the decision is made for you, you can also shift your reality. And we will talk about that in another video in another day. But let's just say right now, we're going to focus on your value. As you're deciding, do I make this decision to leave or to stay? We're going to keep it about yourself. It's been very much about the other individual, the other party in this relationship, what they're doing, what they're not doing, what you need and are not receiving. All right. So, what we're going to do is shift our attention and we're going to bring the focus to your value. So, the first thing I'm going to encourage you to do is to actually write down everything that's amazing about yourself. Okay. And I just got this feeling in the pit of my stomach that many of you that come to this video are actually going to be struggling big time with this. All right. So give yourself some grace and some time with this exercise. If you need to start it, put it down, come back to it. That's totally okay. Sometimes when I'm doing these type of exercises, I'll do them in my journal. I actually use my iPad with the good notes, but sometimes I'll just use the notes in my phone if that feels like a safer space. So I encourage you to find what is the safest space for you. If it's not a journal, I sometimes will have clients that are afraid that their journals will be found by their partner. I've experienced that as well. And so I would encourage, if your phone is your safe space, to go ahead and make a little private folder in your notes and do this work inside of there. All right, so go into the notes or into your journal if you have a safe space and go ahead and start to write out everything that's amazing about yourself. What makes you such a valuable source in this world? Okay, and then I want you to write down some of the things that you aren't feeling so good about in yourself. What do you feel like you're lacking? What do you feel like you're not doing? What you're not providing in your relationship? You might not be seeing some of that right now because your attention might be heavily on what's not being provided and what your partner is doing or isn't doing. So we're going to shift all the focus onto ourselves so that we can be operating from a place of full power. All right. Again, I know this is hard, but breathe through it, because once you start to move this through your body and out onto paper, into the notes in your phone, you're going to start to jumble up some of that stagnant energy that's been keeping you in these stories. Ultimately, you're going to end up making a decision at some point, and you want to make that decision from a place that's really grounded and clear. If you're here today, you are not clear. You're not clear. That's why you found this video, is because you're not clear. So I want to help you. I want to help you to get clear. So doing the values exercise, writing down what's awesome about yourself, writing down what you feel like you're lacking. All right. What doesn't feel so good about yourself, where you feel like you need work. And I want you to just take a moment and breathe with that and give yourself permission to be human. None of us are perfect, including your partner. So giving yourself permission to not be perfect and giving your partner permission to not be perfect. Then what I want you to do is I want you to look at your list and ask yourself, am I providing my partner what they need? Okay. Now that's going to be an uncomfortable question, but it might shift your thinking away from your partner and onto yourself. Some of us will feel extremely guilty. You might already be feeling that you haven't been doing that. You might feel like you're over it and you can't do that that's not you. You're not willing to, whatever it is at this point in time. But I want you to think to yourself, am I providing my partner what they need? Now, if the answer to that is yes, yes, I am doing so much. I'm going above and beyond. I'm providing everything my partner needs. I'm meeting all of their needs, and yet my needs are not being met. Then I want you to ask yourself, what have I done to get my needs met? Okay. If what you've done to get your needs met is vocalize your needs, right? Spoken it with your words. I want to actually encourage you to, before you make the decision to leave, try a couple of practices, test them out to see if you get results. So this will kind of be a litmus test of whether or not it's time to leave. With this litmus test, I ask you to give it 3 months. Time is a fickle thing, especially when other people's free will is involved. But if you think about the time that it takes to give birth to a human, the time that it takes to transform yourself, the time that it takes for seeds to germinate and pop through the ground, we want to find a reasonable amount of time for change to actually happen. I don't care if you think change is possible or not, honestly. If you're here and you don't know what to do, whether to leave or not, then I'm going to ask you to please give this a try. Please give this a try. So, here today, I'm going to ask you to give it 90 days, which is about the time it takes for seeds to germinate. You are going to plant some seeds in the mind of your partner to try to manifest some of the characteristics and qualities, actions, behaviors that you would like out of your partner. Okay. So, step one, plant the seeds. We're no longer going to use our words. We're going to actually use our energy, our feminine energy. If we're a woman, man, you can also use a feminine energy to draw out what you want from your woman. All right. I tend to deal with a lot of women, so I'm going to assume that majority of the ones coming to this video are women or men who are out of their masculine. And that's, again, a whole nother video. So for today, it's geared towards women and men that are working to get into your masculine, but might recognize that you haven't been operating in it and you're trying to decide whether or not to leave. We've done the assessment of your value. For men who are operating outside of their masculine, I'm going to guess that you haven't been operating from your power and you probably aren't aware of your value yet. I hope that when you do the values assessment, you'll start to recognize how wonderful you are. So now we're at planting seeds. That is the next step. On this step, you're going to write down in your journal or your safe space in your notes all of the things that you want from your partner. Take a big breath with me here, because I feel like this is where we haven't gone yet. Maybe you've gone there with your words, but the energy was all jumbled and angry and aggressive and all the things, or powerless. And so we're going to shift the energy. No offense to you if you've been in any of those spaces. I've been there, but we're going to take a deep breath because you're going to try it from a different place now. All right. You're going to try it from a different place with different tools. So you're going to write down what it is that you want from your partner. Give yourself time with this one as well, because maybe you haven't been 100% clear, or maybe you've been using words like, I just want this. And when we use the word just, we actually are limiting ourselves right away, and we're limiting our partner from expanding and even surprising us with that which we didn't believe that we deserved. Okay. So avoid using the word just in this exercise. Write down everything that you would love from your partner. Go above and beyond, because maybe you've been setting the bar too low and your partner wants you subconsciously to set the bar higher. So write out everything that you want from your partner. If you want more sex, write down, I want more sex. If you want more fun, more play, more respect, more appreciation, more time together, less time together, you want them to show up as a parent, whatever it is, you want to take trips together, just write it all down. You might need to pause the video here. That's okay. You can pause and then come back, because the next step, all right here, the next step is going to be, beside everything that you've written down that you would really love from your partner, I want you to write down, I now give my partner permission to, next to each thing. And then I want you to read it out loud. I now give my partner permission to give me more sex. I now give my partner permission to be more fun. I now give my partner permission to take me on fun trips. I now give my partner permission to step into their role as father. I now give my partner permission to surprise me sometimes. I now give my partner permission to treat me like a queen or king. I now give my partner permission to give me the space that I need. Whatever it is that you've written down, I want you to say it out loud. Breathe through it, because if you're here at this point, then chances are that you've been leaning towards leaving. All right. You've been questioning and leaning towards leaving. That's okay. That's natural. But we're going to shift you to center, to neutral, so that we can plant these seeds and see what sprouts. Remember what I said? It's about a 3-month litmus test. So, what you're going to do for the next 3 months, okay, if you can handle it, which I believe that you can, what you're going to do for the next 3 months is you're going to water these seeds. You're giving permission for them to do these things, to show up in these ways that you need them to. That does not mean you're going to tell them to do it. So I want you to be creative. I want you to be open. I want you to be in that feminine, receptive energy and create opportunities for them to show up in the ways that you've asked for. Read this out loud every day if you need to, maybe every other day, at least once a week for the next 3 months. Read it, memorize it, remember what you're giving permission to. And here's the final step. When you start to see sprouts of these things poking up into your reality, maybe if you ask for more sex or more appreciation, more respect, more presence, when you start to see those sprouts, you're going to really give them special attention. You're going to show a lot of appreciation, acknowledgement. Again, I just felt it in my body. If you're here, then chances are you're feeling some resentment. You're rolling your eyes. You're like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go above and beyond to show that, whatever. I'm going to ask you to try for 3 months. All right. At the end of it, if you feel so certain that they haven't done any of this, if you feel so certain that, you know what, these seeds sprouted and I still don't want them, okay, I still don't want it, then that's when you know that it's time to leave. But if you've seen the seeds sprout and you're starting to notice a shift inside of yourself, a new appreciation inside of yourself, then I want to encourage you to consider staying, all right, and getting help. So there are shamans that work with couples. There are incredible institutes that have classes, online classes, courses for couples. I love the Gottman Institute. I use that in my partnership. There are so many ways to nurture your relationship once you've seen some of those sprouts start to show. but you don't have to jump the gun to that point. First, see if they start to show up. It's okay to take a little break, to lean back, to allow for some shifts to happen without leaning in and nagging and having to vocalize your needs. I've been there before and it just doesn't work. So remember, set those intentions, plant those seeds, verbalize and speak it out. Do your best not to roll your eyes about these things. Try to stay open. You don't have to stay positive, but try to stay open, at least neutral to some shifts happening. And just give it a little bit of time to see if it shows. I am so happy to be present to support you in any way that I can. If you are ready to make some internal shifts within yourself that could then enhance your relationship or shift your relationship into an entirely new dynamic, because believe me, it starts with you. You have the power to change your relationship by changing yourself. If you would like to explore this with me, please consider checking out my soul medicine course, my soul medicine membership. You can drop into soul medicine classes. These are small group sessions where we do this deep work together. We journal, we set the intentions, and it's a beautiful group of women that are very much like yourself. All right. So check it out. If you feel like you need a private consultation, I do offer introductory private sessions for new clients, and you can find the links to all of that below. I would be so happy to help you to break through your own limitations, restraints, resistance, so that you can open up your heart and start to receive everything that you deserve. Again, my name's Athena. I'm the Seaside Shaman. I've been through it. I am so happy to support others through this so that it doesn't have to be as painful of a transition as what I myself experienced. I've helped hundreds of women through transitions like this, whether they stayed or whether they left. And in my book, I also go into the difficult decision of whether to leave or not to leave. And my book is filled with 22 exercises that you yourself can do on either side of a separation, where I share with you when you're working through your personal stuff, working through the grief, working through all those kind of demons on the battlefield of separation, as I call it in the book, how to slay those demons, how to weigh your pros and cons from a place of neutrality, and if you decide to leave, how to find yourself again. My book is called Lead with Love. Again, there's a link down below for that as well. You can find my booking link if you want to get in with a private session with me, or if you want to join in a soul medicine group class, you can also find the link for that below. Thank you so much for coming here today. If you would like to see more from me, I'm actually pretty new to the YouTube, so I would love to hear from you what you want to hear from me. Type that in the comments below. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. That's what everybody says. I look forward to staying connected with you. Namaste.